Hi everyone, welcome back, or if this is your first time, welcome. Glad to have you here. But this is a continuation of the video right before this, where I did a fridge and pantry clean out. But we are cooking. We're going to start out cooking this time instead of cleaning. And we're not going to have any graphics. Halloween is over with. At the very end of the last video, we were blanching and cooking tomatoes. Now we're going to turn the cooked tomatoes into spaghetti sauce. This is the sauce we made from garden fresh blanched tomatoes that were cooked down for over 45 minutes. Here are the ingredients we are going to put into the sauce that we create. We're going to put a little bit of sugar, basil, oregano, and parsley. My husband prefers dried parsley. At the end, I am going to add a little fresh parsley from the garden for garnish. And we have garlic powder, salt and pepper. Very simple ingredients. The tomatoes are looking good. I prefer chunky tomato sauce, chunky spaghetti sauce. So does my husband, so we can leave some chunks of tomato in there. If you want to smash this up with a potato smasher, you can feel free to do so to make it even finer and not so chunky. And we may be adding some water by the time we cook this down. The recipe says to cook it for 20 minutes. I don't know that I'm going to cook it that long. I'm going to go ahead and add some sugar. And I will type the recipe out for you that I use. Okay. This sweetens up the sauce. It breaks so it is not too acidic. Okay. Add a little garlic powder. Basil. Oh, I love basil. Oregano. And parsley, dried parsley. Just a little salt. I don't think I'm going to need too much because I added some salt when I blanched the tomatoes. Go. And pepper. The tomato sauce is beginning to boil. I'm going to turn it down slightly between medium and low and let that simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, we are going to work on our dessert, which is zucchini brownies. These came from the freezer. I thawed out a few days ago. I need to use these up. This is shredded zucchini. It needs strained. I'm going to use the clean towel method. And I'm squeezing as much water as I can out of the zucchini. We have approximately 1 cup of shredded zucchini. We can make half of a recipe. There's only 2 of us here. My daughter may stop by and I'll give her some of the brownies. There'll be plenty to go around without making a full recipe, which would take 2 cups of zucchini. We're going to mix the wet ingredients first into the sugar. This recipe does not contain eggs, so you can save your eggs for another dish. And then we'll mix in the dry ingredients. We have oil. So that's oil and sugar, vanilla, zucchini. This gives us moisture. So we'll mix those together. Flour, cocoa, baking soda, and salt. And nuts. So what we're doing is we're creating a brownie dough that consists of quite a bit of shredded zucchini, which is very healthy. And because this dessert is made from scratch, that makes it even more healthier than anything you would buy at the store, and you would spend a lot more money for brownies at the store, that's for sure. Oh, look at that. See, it just takes a little stirring. Because at first I thought that looks awfully dry without an egg, but the moisture from the shredded zucchini is working its way through, and we have a nice dough that's working out very well. It's nice and moist. Great. I have my oven preheated at 350 Fahrenheit. So we have a pan that a dish that I sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. And I get excited because I love the smell of cocoa. Smells so good. Spread it out as far as we can through the pan. If you have allergies, just omit the nuts altogether, the walnuts altogether. Let's put it in the oven. The brownies need to bake for about 20 minutes. Now we're going back to our sauce, which is looking good. It had enough, the tomatoes had contained enough water and I don't have to cook this down to tomato paste. If I cook it any longer, that's what it will become. So now we're ready to start cooking our pasta. I'm using gluten-free Barilla spaghetti, and there's about half a box here, but we're going to use a large pan. I just think it works out better that way when I go to bake the spaghetti. So we're going to put our spaghetti together as soon as we cook it, along with the sauce and the cheese. I'm going to be shredding the cheese in just a moment. This is meatless $1 million spaghetti, but my husband loves meat, so I have to have something on the side for him, and you'll see what I'm going to do. Brownies actually baked for 25 minutes, and they're still a little soft. I'm going to go ahead and put these nuts on there for a garnish. I'm not doing sprinkles. We're into November now. This is the way my grandmother garnished her desserts. She didn't like a lot of icing. She would put a glaze on a lemon cake and then put walnuts on it. I think it's a German thing because she was almost completely half German. Let's see here. Oh, I'm getting carried away, I know, but we love nuts. I love the look of nuts on this because it reminds me of my grandmother. They're kind of pushing down a little bit. And we'll finish baking for a few more minutes. The pasta has cooked long enough. The gluten-free spaghetti cooks faster than regular spaghetti. I found that out. And this is thin spaghetti. I love thin spaghetti. So let's go ahead and strain this in the colander. I did not save the pasta water because I don't need it for anything right now, quite frankly. Otherwise, I would have. The brownies are done. I cooked them a little longer because my husband likes them firmer than what I did the last time. I like them soft and ooey gooey, but he doesn't. He wants it more like a brownie and less like a chocolate cake, but I prefer the chocolate cake form. Anyway, so we had to reach a happy medium, but I think these will be just fine. They're not over-baked. They baked for probably 27 minutes. And here's the ground turkey we're using from Aldi. It's 93% lean. This was the way my mom made meatloaf, so I'm kind of following her recipe. It was a Betty Crocker recipe from years ago, and I will give you the recipe. If I can't find it online, I'll just give you the recipe that I have written on an index card. Right, we have a beaten egg. That in there, along with our spices, just a little parsley, garlic powder, sage, dried sage, salt, pepper. We're going to put some crackers and a little bit of milk, not much. And yeah, I got to break up the crackers too. Just add a little bit of each seasoning. Just a little milk. Mix that together with clean hands or a large spoon like I'm doing. Add your crackers. That was about 8 crackers crushed. If I'm making 1.5 pounds of meatloaf, I use 12 crackers. You can use breadcrumbs in place of it, of course. Very generous on the ketchup. Gives the meatloaf lots of flavor, but we're also going to add ketchup on top. Let's mix this up some more and put it into a baking dish. Cut up some onion here, about half an onion. If I don't put onion in this, he will throw a fit. All right, I'm glazing. I put the meatloaf mix into a sprayed loaf dish, and I'm just glazing it with ketchup. Bake the meatloaf in the oven for 45 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. My channel is called Frugal Lifestyle for a reason. When I run out of ingredients, I don't run to the store and buy them. We had a little bit of cottage cheese left. I was saving for this $1 million spaghetti. It doesn't take much. You mix it with sour cream and cream cheese also. However, my husband ate the cottage cheese. So it's fine. I'm not upset with him. I'm just going to use sour cream and cream cheese and a little bit of mozzarella mixed in there, a little bit of shredded mozzarella. I think it'll be just fine. Remember, this is a frugal lifestyle channel, so we move with the flow and we improvise when we need to. We're not running out to waste gasoline to go get that cottage cheese, where I think it will work just fine without it. This will be the filling, and since this cream cheese is way down to just 1/4 of a container, it looks like, I'm going to go ahead and put the mozzarella cheese in there in place of cottage cheese. And we're going to add just a little bit of sour cream. Maybe a little extra since we didn't have the cottage cheese. I'm using probably a lot less than what the recipe calls for, because that's the frugal way as far as I'm concerned. We don't need all that fatty cheese. It's good, but we can cut back and save money in the process. Now we're going to start layering everything, the spaghetti, the sauce, everything. You know, the cheese. We have butter though. The recipe calls for butter in the bottom of the pan. I did spray this pan with non-cooking spray also. And over that, we're going to put some sauce. Just going to spread it out on the bottom. I want to make sure I have enough for the top layer too. We place down the first layer of cooked spaghetti. Then spread the cream cheese sour cream mix throughout the spaghetti. Now we're going to do a little bit more butter, but not too much more. Now we cover with the remaining spaghetti. It didn't say to put a layer of cheese in the middle, the shredded cheese. My hands are clean. It said to do it this way. Now time for more sauce, delicious sauce. And I'm just going to take that pan and pour it over it. And this needs to bake for about 25 minutes. Well, they should come out around the same time. Maybe the meatloaf first and then the spaghetti, but within minutes, so you can serve them all at the same time. This actually works out very well because meatloaf takes a very long time to cool on the rack before you can actually eat it. We'll be pulling the meatloaf out approximately 10 minutes before the baked spaghetti. And the meatloaf is finished cooking. I pulled out the spaghetti. This will be the last 10 to 15 minutes of baking. We're going to just put the cheese on top now. And we'll put this back in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. The baked spaghetti is done. And this is the entire meal today, cooked family style. $1 million spaghetti with a fresh garnish of parsley from the garden. We have salad that 2 people can share, maybe 3 if they don't eat much salad, with homegrown tomatoes. And we have brownies, that's for dessert, with walnuts and zucchini. This is zucchini brownies. And we have meatloaf. So my husband will be happy as a lark. And I've got my meatless option with gluten-free pasta. If you're wondering what the green vegetable is with the meatloaf, that is kale that I used for a beautiful garnish. I will eat it. My husband probably not. This is family style, and I think it's very lovely. Let me know what you think. And it's a very budget-friendly meal. I used what we have. I cleaned out our refrigerator and our cupboards to use so many of these ingredients. Thanks for watching today. I hope I inspired you to whip up a delicious, healthy meal on a budget using what you have in the refrigerator and the pantry. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one.